This is the part 2 series of our factorization chapter. Okay, the other day I would have told you that there are totally 4 methods under factorization, 4 subdivisions under factorization, isn't it? So the second method is what we're going to speak in today's class, the so-called most important method. Okay, so that method is called as splitting the middle term method. For that, you need to have the question in a trinomial format. So you need to have the question in a trinomial format. So in your later stages, maybe in your next year, we don't call it as a trinomial, we call it as a quadratic format. Okay. Now, let's actually see what is the general form of that format. Okay. Now, the general form of a quadratic expression, the general form of a quadratic expression is ax square plus bx plus c. Ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b and c are constants, basically numbers. Okay. And this x is the variable for which we are trying to factorize. Understand? So we can take this, we can take any simple example. For example, I can write it as, 5x square minus 4x plus 3, something like this. So a is 5, b is minus 4, c is plus 3. So something like this. Okay. Now, how do we factorize this? This is the whole concept that we're going to learn in today's class. Now, first of all, before we start with the procedure, can you read what I've written here? Before we start with the procedure of factorization, we need to remember that this powers, x power 2, x power 1, and here it is x power 0. So the powers have to either be written in descending order or it has to be arranged in ascending order. So either you can write this way, this is in descending order, x power 2, x power 1, x power 0. It can be written this way, or you can also represent this as 3 minus 4x plus 5x square. Even this is the right format. Here I've written the powers in the ascending order. So only if this is correct, only if you write it in the descending or ascending order, then you are allowed to start with your factorization. Now, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to split the middle term. I'm supposed to split the middle term. I'll show you. Now, this middle term, this b has to get split into two new numbers. Let's call the two new numbers as m and n. The condition for splitting b into m and n is this m plus n. When I try to add m and n, the two new numbers, the result should be same as the middle number itself, b itself. Okay. And when I try to find the product of the two new numbers, the result should be same as the product of a and c. Yeah, I'm sure half of it you have not understood. Okay. Now I'll try to explain this with an example that is going to be more clear to you. Okay. Let me take an example like this. I'm sure you understood that this is already arranged in the descending order. A power 2, a power 1, a power 0. So it's already in the descending order. So I can directly start my factorization. Now, I have to split the middle number into two new numbers, m and n. What is the condition? Now, m plus n should be same as minus 3. And m multiplied by n should be same as 1 multiplied by minus 40. 1 multiplied by minus 40. The result is going to be minus 40. Remember, guys, for some time we are going to ignore this. For some time we are going to ignore this. So I am only going to take minus 40. Keep the minus sign in your mind. Take 40 and start factorizing. Just start finding the factors for 40. Now, 2 20 times. With 2 and 20, you add or you subtract, do whatever you want. Can you get 3? No, you can't. Then proceed. 2 10 times. Now, 2 2s are 4. With 4 and 10, add or subtract. Can you get 3? No. So proceed. 2 5 times. 4 2s are 8. 2 2s are 4. 4 2s are 8. With 8 and 5, yes, if you subtract, you can get 3. That means those are the required factors. Those are the required factors. So I know my m is going to be 8 and 5. N is going to be 5. But there is something in my mind, right? There was a minus sign in my mind. So I have to give the minus sign to the right person. For example, if I give the minus sign to the 5, 8 plus 8 minus 5 becomes plus 3, right? But I want a minus 3 here. So it's not correct. So I should give the minus sign to 8. Check now. Minus 8 plus 5 would result in minus 3. So the correct factors are minus 8 and plus 5. So how do I proceed? I copy the a square as it is. Minus 3a is now being written as minus 8a plus 5a minus 40. Yes. Now from these two terms, what is common? A looks common. So a minus 8 plus, from these two terms, 5 looks common. A minus 8. Again, a minus 8 looks common. And what's remaining here? A, what's remaining here? Plus 5. And this is your final answer. Yes, I think you need more examples to understand this in detail. Let's take more examples. I've taken some bigger numbers here. Okay, but first of all, this doesn't look like, the general form. If you remember the general form, look at the general form once again. The general form has square and power 1 and power 0. It doesn't have cubes and all that, right? Okay, so this doesn't look like the general form. So how do I convert it to the general form? Throughout this expression, you can see that a is common, isn't it? So my very first step is I'm going to remove the common factor. I'll remove a common. Yes. So what is inside? I have 24 a square. A into a is a cube, isn't it? Yes. Plus 37 a minus 5. Now this looks like our general format, the required format, isn't it? Okay. So now I need to split this 37 into two new numbers such that these two new numbers, m plus n, when I add, it should be same as 37, and when I multiply, it should be same as 24 into minus 5. What is 24 minus 5 times? Minus 120. Okay, so what is important to us is minus 120, right? Keep the minus sign in your mind. Start factorizing 120. Start factorizing 120. Yes, 260 times. With 2 and 60, you add, you subtract, do whatever you want. You can't get 37, right? Okay, proceed. 2 30 times. 2 2s are 4, isn't it? 4 and 30, you add and subtract, you won't get 37. Proceed. 2 15 times. 4 2s are 8. 8 and 15, you still won't get 37, right? 5 3 times. 8 5s are 40. 40 and 3. Yes, if we subtract, we will get 37. What is there in my mind? I had a minus sign in my mind, if you remember. So whom to give the minus sign to? If I give the minus sign to 40, minus 40 plus 3 will become minus 37. But the question wants a plus 37, isn't it? So I'm not supposed to give the minus sign to 40. I'm supposed to give the minus sign to 3. So the required factors here are 40a minus 3a. Copy the remaining terms as it is. So plus 24a square as it is, minus 5 as it is. And remember, there was a outside. You can't forget that, right? So a as it is. Now what's common here? 24 and 40. What is common? 8. A square and a. There is a common. So 8a into 3a. Guys, understand? 8 3 times is 24. A into a is a square. Plus 8 into 5 is 40, a into 1, a is already out, right? Okay, minus, nothing looks common here, so I just remove a 1 common. Yes, so 3a plus 5, because minus into plus is already minus. So use a bigger bracket here. So a is common again. So what looks common from these two terms? 3a plus 5. And from here I have 8a remaining. From here I have minus 1 remaining. And this is your final answer. One of the important questions, guys. Okay, so like this, first bring it to the general form. First make sure that it's in the general form. Also make sure whether the powers are in the descending or ascending order. Then try to split the middle term. The basic condition for splitting the middle term is the sum and product. Sum is not important. The product is the one which you can factorize and get the result. Okay, we'll practice more. Okay, next sum. See here. It looks like there are two variables, but it's still the general form only. You know why? This is same as ab the whole square plus 8ab minus 9. In fact, if I call AB as x, it becomes x square plus 8x minus 9. Don't you think it's in the general form? Yes. So this is actually our quadratic form only. So I don't have to do all this. I can directly start off. If you understand it's in the correct general form, you can actually start off. So what I don't want to write all these extra steps. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll try to directly split the middle term. So for that, what should I understand? The sum should be, yes guys, I need to hear that. The sum should be plus 8. Perfect. And the product should be 1 into minus 9 is minus 9, right? Okay, so 1 into minus 9 is minus 9, right? Okay, so keep the minus sign in your mind and take 9 only. Yes, start factorizing. Okay, so 3 times is 9. With 3 and 3, you add or subtract, you can't get 8, right? Proceed further. 3 ones are. So 3 3s are 9 and 1. Yes, if you subtract 9 and 1, you will be able to get 8. But what is there in my mind? I have a minus sign in my mind, right? So by now you know whom to give the minus sign to. So give the minus sign to 1 because plus 9 minus 1 becomes plus 8, right? So I write this as a square b square plus 9ab minus 1ab minus 9. Now what's common from here? AB is common. So AB plus 9 minus 1 is common. AB plus 9, guys, because minus into plus is minus, right? Now again AB plus 9, AB plus 9 looks common. What's remaining here? AB minus what's remaining here? 1. This is your required factorized answer, right? Okay, so next question. This doesn't even look like a trinomial. This doesn't even look like the quadratic form. But then if you open the bracket, see what happens. So if you try to open the bracket, 3 minus 4 into a is minus 4a, minus into plus is minus, a into 7a is 7a square. Don't you think this looks like our general form? And the powers have been arranged here in the ascending order. So x, a power 0, a power 1, a power 2. So ascending order is absolutely allowed, right? Okay. So directly try to split the middle term. Yes. So now what is the condition? M plus n should be minus 4. Not so important. Okay. M into n should be 3 into minus 7, which is minus 21. Keep the minus sign in your mind. Take 21 and start factorizing. Right? Okay. So 3 7 times. Yes, 3 7 times. With 3 and 7, if you subtract or add, can you get 4? Yes, you can, right? So those are only the factors. But what's there in your mind? You have a minus sign. Whom to give the minus sign to? Very comfortable. If you give the minus sign to 3, what happens? Plus 7 minus 3 becomes plus 4. Okay. But then I want minus 4. So it's actually plus 3 minus 7, isn't it? So what do? So 3 plus 3a minus 7a minus 7a square. So minus 4a has got split into plus 3a and minus 7a, right? Okay, so 3 common from here, 1 plus a minus 7a is common from here. Yes, 1 plus, because minus into plus is minus, a. 7a into a, 7a square. So 1 plus a again looks common into 3 minus 7a. And this is your final answer, guys. Okay, now let's try more. Look at this. This looks like there is a square. Okay, so something is telling me that it must be quadratic in form. But then again, it's not in the standard form. So what do? I arrange it in the standard form. So what do? I write 2a plus b, the whole square. From these two terms, can I remove minus 3 common? So I again have 2a plus b, guys. Minus into plus is minus 3b, right? I haven't changed the question. I'm nobody to change the question. So minus 4. Now can you see this looks like the quadratic form? If you want to solve directly, you can. Otherwise, you can say let 2a plus b is equal to x. So what does this become now? X square minus 3x minus 4. You can do it this way also. Never mind. Yes? Split the middle term. What's the condition? M plus n should be minus 3. Not so important. M into N should be minus 4. Keep the minus sign in your mind. Take 4 and factorize. For all the questions, the method is the same. Yes, 2 2s are. With 2 and 2, add or subtract. Can you get 3? You can't. So proceed. So 2 1s are. So with 4 and 1, if you subtract, you will get 3, correct? So those are the factors. But I have a minus sign in my mind. Whom to give the minus sign to? So should I give it to 4? Yes. Minus 4 plus 1 becomes minus 3 and we want minus 3 only. So I've given it correctly. Okay. So x square minus 4x plus 1x minus 4. So x is common here. X minus 4 plus 1 is common here. X minus 4. So x minus 4 into what's remaining here? X, what's remaining here? Plus 1. So this looks like our answer, but obviously it's not our answer. You know why? Because x was not there in the question. I need to replace x with whatever I have assumed x as. So my final answer is going to be, instead of x, I write 2a plus b minus 4. Same thing here, 2a plus b plus 1. And that is your final answer. One of the very, very important questions. Yes. Let's see the so-called toughest question of this concept. Okay, this middle number factorization. I don't know why they call this as the toughest question. We can maybe call it as the lengthy question. Okay, so this is one of the important question, guys. If your teacher wants to frame a question for 4 marks or 5 marks, they might pick this. Let's see. Okay, now concentrate here. 5 minus. Now this and this almost looks same. But what's the difference here? I have a plus 3a square here, but here I have a minus 3a square. I have a minus 2a here, I have a plus 2a here. So something is mismatching. So what do? I copy this as it is. In this bracket, I remove a minus sign common. Now can I write it as 3a square minus 2a? Have I changed anything? Minus into plus is minus, minus into minus is plus. So the question remains the same. I haven't changed anything. Now, can you see this term and this term are the same? Yes. So I can assume it as some other variable, right? So let 3a square minus 2a is equal to any variable, let us say k, right? So what does this expression now become? 5 minus k into 6 minus k. Use brackets in the correct places. Instead of this, I have used k, 6 minus, instead of this, again I have used k. Yes, now open the brackets. 5 minus 6 into k is 6k, minus into minus plus k square. Now, if you observe carefully, we have arrived at the general form of a trinomial, of a quadratic expression. So directly jump into splitting the middle term. Yes, okay, you know how to split the middle term, right? So the product is what is more important. What is the product here? 5 into 1 is 5. Yes, okay. So how do you factorize 5? There are no other options for 5. It's just 5 ones are. With 5 and 1, you add or subtract, you can get 6. Yes. Should we add or subtract? We should add. But if I keep both as the plus signs, you know, these are correct factors, no doubt about it. If I keep both as the plus signs, I will get plus 6 here. The question demands minus 6. So actually it is supposed to be minus 5 and minus 1. I hope you understood. So the correct factors here are 5 minus 6k minus 1k plus k square. If you want, you can also multiply and see minus 5 into minus 1 will give me plus 5 only. The product is anyways plus 5, right? Okay. Now what's common from here? Nothing looks common. Yes. Okay. So what's common from here? You're not able to take anything common. So what to do here? So 5 minus 6k. So I've written it wrong. Okay, cut. Five and 1, I wrote 6 and 1. Okay, so the factors are minus 5 and minus 1, right? Okay, so 5 minus 5k minus 1k plus k square. If you want, you can cross check this. Minus 5 into minus 1 is anyways plus 5. We want the product as plus 5 only, right? Okay. Now, what is common from here? 5 is common. So 1 minus k. What is common from here? K is common. So 1 minus k, because minus into minus is plus. So 1 minus k into 5 minus k looks like my answer. Obviously, that cannot be my answer because k is not there in the question, right? So what do? I substitute, right? So 1 minus of, what is the k value that I've chosen? 3a square minus 2a in one bracket. In the other bracket, 5 minus of 3a square minus 2a. Now, the catch in this question is when you try to open the bracket there, you are arriving at, look at this, 1 minus 3a square plus 2a. Minus into minus is plus. 5 minus 3a square plus 2a. You are arriving at two more quadratic expressions which is not arranged. So first try to arrange them. So 1 plus 2a minus 3a square. I have arranged it in the ascending order. Yes. So 5 plus 2a minus 3a square. Sir, we arrived at another quadratic expression. Should we factorize it further? Yes, you have to. If it is possible, you have to factorize it. Okay. So try. Is it possible to factorize this? The product should be minus 3. So keep the minus sign in your mind. Take 3 and start factorizing. 3 ones are. With 3 and 1, you add or subtract. Can you get 2? Yes, you can. Yes. So minus sign is there in your mind. If I give it to 1, my factors are perfectly right, isn't it? So it is 1 plus 3a minus 1a minus 3a square. Yes. Similarly, here, the product is minus 15. Keep the minus sign in your mind. Take 15 and start factorizing. 3 5s are. With 3 and 5, if you add or subtract, you can get 2. So those are only the factors. The minus sign in my mind, I should give it to 3. Then only I will get positive 2a, isn't it? Okay. So what do I write here? So 5 plus 5a minus 3a minus 3a square. Right? So I'm almost done. Look at the board. So what's common from here? Nothing looks common. So remove 1 common. 1 plus 3a. Minus a looks common here. So 1 plus 3a. Plus into minus is minus. Okay. So keep it in one bracket. Here what is common? So 5 is common. 1 plus a. What looks common here? Minus 3a looks common. So 1 plus a. Right? So what is common from these two terms? 1 plus 3a. And here what's remaining? 1 minus a. What's common here? 1 plus a. And what's remaining here? 5, and here minus 3a. And this is your final answer. And now I hope you understand why this is a 4 marks or a 5 marks question, right? So sincerely practice this. I'm sure you will also be able to solve more questions based on this. See you in the next video.